I'm also a subscriber. So I like when you do the Wonder Bread, Wonder Bread, Wonder Bread news.
Awareness of Storm Chasers. Today we have another story of an individual, an artist, a creative. I like to call her a rap singer. You know, you might not think that the artists today, let me back up. You may think that the artists today are original with this rap singing, but I'm willing to bet that they have been inspired by our artists from the 2000s when they was doing it back then. Azaleh, we have her Azaleh music with us today. She was no different than Lauryn Hill, Missy Elliott, all them ladies that was rapping and singing. I realized that these ladies literally they birthed a whole generation of music. But we're gonna talk about her experiences in the industry as well as just her own life story. We're gonna get into it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Peace and blessings.
I see you got that's a beautiful picture you have in the back.
Oh, my Buddha. Yes. My Buddha. Yes. It's all positive energy, positive vibes. You got to have it. You have to have it surrounding you. So my whole entire home is done in feng shui, Asian decor. So I love it. It's a cool ambiance.
I love that too. And that tells me you're about peace and that you found your peace. And so for a lot of us to find peace in our lives, we go through a journey. So tell us, I know you are a New York City native, but tell me, how did you get involved with music?
I started in the music industry, working behind the scenes. I used to work at SIR Studios in Manhattan on 21st Street. They used to have another location on 57th Street as well. But the majority of the people would come to both locations, but I was the receptionist. My very first kind of industry job on 25th Street.
Nice. Okay, so you were a reception. You know what though? That's actually really smart because it's like if I'm trying to do this, I tell you what, you might not listen to my music right now, but I'm gonna be right here at the front door. And every time somebody come in, I'm gonna sing for you. Back in the day, they used to hand your tapes over or your CDs. Like, I mean, kids today, they don't.
Yeah.
So working as a receptionist, what were some of the artists that you saw walk through those doors?
Oh wow, I have a legendary list. First of all, I've oh wow. I'm just gonna say Maya Angelou. I'm probably gonna say some names that maybe some of the younger or newbies basically don't know, but please do your research. Ashford and Simpson, Valerie Simpson, I'm sorry, and Nick Ashford. They were a huge part of this industry, huge part of writing songs for other artists. Nick Ashford is no longer with us. He passed, but I met them and they were actually with Maya Angelou. And Maya Angelou is someone I never thought I would ever meet.
That right Elliott. There, that right there, just like, it's Maya Angelou.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Erykah Badu. Let's see who else. Wow. Kevin Bacon, the actor Kevin Bacon. A lot of people don't know that he has a brother and they were called the Bacon Brothers. So Kevin Bacon's very, very talented musically. So big up to him. Wow. I said Missy. It was so many people that would come through those studio doors. And I don't live in New York anymore, but I live in Las Vegas. And when I dropped down here in Las Vegas, there's a recording studio that's inside the Palms casino that opened. And a really cool lady. I just respect her and love her to the utmost. Her name is Zoe Thrall. And Zoe used to run Hit Factory in New York City. And of course, working within the studios, you talk to all the other studios. So she actually met me at an interview and she remembered me from SIR. So now I'm back, in the industry in Vegas. So it was
Right.
very interesting, very interesting. But so big up to Zoe, and she's still doing her thing. But we're under this pandemic, but she's still the studio director at the Palms Recording Studio.
And
So
one thing that's important for people to know that honestly they really don't. Vegas itself, not just the strip, but people that actually live there. It's a lot of Black people that live in Vegas. Like people don't
yes.
know. Like they go and they're like, yeah, it's a lot of Black people that live there. So how do you like living in Vegas compared to New York?
Oh wow. It was a huge transition. Um, it was very, very strange when I first moved here. Originally, I moved here in 2004. I got married. I married an Italian man. So he was awesome, great provider, all of that. Um, so I moved here. I came out here for vacation and I fell in love with it. And but let me just tell you, don't believe the hype because I did fall in love with it on vacation. So I did have an opportunity to move here. My husband accepted an opportunity to take a job here in Las Vegas because when you work in the construction industry, which is what he was in, it's a lot of layoffs, with the weather in New York, it rains, snows, that type of thing. In Las Vegas, in the construction industry, you work all year round. So it was a great opportunity for him. I was engaged to him at the time. So I was like, oh, Vegas? Okay. I had a great time there on vacation.
Nice.
And this was in 2004. Okay. Um, so here we are now in 2020. There's been a lot of growth here in Las Vegas. There's been a lot of change in Las Vegas. But when I first got here, I was the, mouthy, New Yorker, they don't like us here. They don't like New Yorkers here in Las Vegas.
Why not?
Well, we have a different work ethic. And let me just say that. And it's no disrespect to anybody that's on the West Side, because I love the West Coast. Obviously, I'm here, right. But we have a different work ethic. In New York, you grow up in New York, everybody's making moves to do something. Everybody's busy. Everybody's trying to get from point A to point B, or I have this appointment, I have this meeting, I have this dinner type thing. Here in Vegas, you got to kind of weed out who's real, who's not. You got to kind of play that game, and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So, just being here, and the difference in New York, I love what I get for my money here in Vegas. I get more for my money. I was paying $2,600 in New York for a 1-bedroom apartment to having a 4-bedroom house for $1,400. There's there's no tax in Las Vegas. Basically, how most people know that you get like your federal taken out, you get your Social Security, you have that. Some cities have city tax, state tax. New York is one of those places. Right. And if you happen to live in New York or work in New York and you commute, between Jersey and like PA, you have those taxes as well. So we don't have taxes here. They just take federal and the Social Security and the Medicaid, and that's it. We don't have those city taxes or state taxes here in Vegas. So the casinos pay it. That's why. Being here is really different. I had to adjust. I was actually working on my speech because my accent was so strong at one point that when I made a phone call, they're like, "Oh, she's from New York." So immediately. But I think most people that know New Yorkers, or you've ever had a friend that was a New Yorker, or you hang out with a New Yorker, when we walk in a room, we just walk in different.
Oh yeah, the swag is different. The swag is different. The energy is different. But like, the way I like to explain it to people is, it's the environment that New Yorkers are bred in. You know, that's a dog eat dog type of city. And so at the end of
It
the day,
definitely is.
you come out the womb hustling, you know. I love my Jamaicans, but one thing about them,
Yeah, man.
they be like, how many jobs you got? You like, oh, I got one. One job? You only
Yep.
have one? Why don't you what? Why don't you doing more? Like, I've never seen
Tree jobs, man. Tree.
like it's the hunger. And actually I could see how that would be frustrating for you to be hungry, ready to work, ready to get some done, showing up early, and then you go to the West and it's more like a laid
I'll
back.
get to you when I get to you, or I say I'm going to do something. Let me just say this. Integrity is something that you have to pride yourself in. I don't care what industry you're in. And my thing is, sorry about that. My thing is that my time is valuable. If you say I'm going to be here and I'm going to do this on this time, don't have me like at the studio waiting, because like for me, like I'm a beast in the studio. Like it is what it is. I don't need to get one song done. I don't need to book like 6 hours a time, because, I'm prepared when I go into the studio. I've rehearsed several times before I'm in the studio. And, you have to learn how to accept, direction, because your ear may not be as great as the person you're paying to engineer. Engineers are the key to this music industry. Their ears are impeccable. Some artists have it, like Jaguar, right? She has that ear. A lot of people don't have it. Shout out to her. Most definitely. I love her too, by the way. And I watched her from the beginning when she first came on the scene. And I met her at a club called The Ritz in Pennsylvania, in Philly, on South Street. I used to actually go dance on Wednesdays to reggae at The Ritz on South Street. Me and my girlfriend used to dance on the speakers. We used to shut it down. Shut it down. So, but I met DL Hughley at Gino's Philly Steak. Met him there. So I've seen a lot of people, but this journey has been very hard for me, because the thing is that a lot of people, once again, going back to the integrity, you have to pride yourself in your craft, and you have to pride yourself how you represent yourself. And right now, from what I'm seeing, and I'm just going to be honest, shout out to everybody that's doing their music. Shout out to everybody who's on Billboard. Shout out to everybody who's doing their thing, because I'm not a hater by no means.
Right.
But there's a different, when you get into this industry, you have to know that you sign up to be a role model. It's not something that you say, oh, I'm going to be a role model one day, or, oh, I'm going to do music one day. As you're on your journey and you're figuring it out, you have to understand that you're on somebody's stage. Your music is filtering through somebody's computer, somebody's phone, somebody's car. Okay. So when you put your life and your craft out there, that comes with the package. So you really have to be careful how you move.
And let's just also point out the fact that with music, you can literally brainwash someone. And so, are you using your pop? Because the gift of this is powerful, and it comes from God. It's just either you have it or you don't. So
exactly.
Honestly, it's like, are you gonna use it? Are you gonna use it for God, or are you gonna use it for the devil? What you gonna do?
And what's the purpose? I mean, what's the purpose of you doing music? For me, I know where my strength is, and my strength is in my pen. I do not play one instrument. And I regret that. I'm not gonna lie, I regret that. I was in piano class and I was too busy, messing around in piano class and not focusing. So my mom was like, no, that's done. I'm not wasting money. So you better figure out something else. So I did the modeling thing. And
what was modeling? Like, what age did you start modeling?
I started at 13.
Oh,
I was very, very young, but let me just say this. I had a very strict parent, and anyone that is very close to me or that knows me, they know I have strict parents. And I'm going to tell you right now, as an adult, I appreciate the hell out of my parents right now for being, you know, on my ass the way that they were. Because even to this day, both of my parents are still living. My parents are in their 80s. I have siblings, several siblings. So, you know, the only thing I could just tell you is that this journey is real. This journey is real, and it does start in your house. Because
it does.
Most Caribbean parents, if you have parents that have any type of Caribbean background, you were supposed to listen to gospel music, church music. You weren't supposed to you know, listen to like rock or, you know, pop or hip hop. You know, that was most of the time, you know, considered not the right music for you to be listening to. So some of us had to sneak to hear that music. So for me, starting a modeling career at 13, going back to my mother being strict, she was like, no, I got offered a contract, and me and my mother have this conversation to this day. I'm like, where would my life have been if I accepted that contract?
Well, who was the contract with?
It was with what was the company's name? Casablanca, somebody Casablancas.
Okay.
And they's like, she's beautiful, she's young. We could offer her a contract. She'll be in Manhattan in New York. And my mother was like, you ain't going. My mother straight up, no, you're not going. John Casablancas, that's who it was.
Okay. All right, cool.
My mother was like, you're not going. Absolutely not. She was like, you are not going to be unsupervised in a model house at the age of 14.
No. I'm trying to pull it up now to see if I can show them a picture to put it on the side. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna pull up so they know, because for some people that are like really young, they're like, who in the hell is John Casablanca?
Mm-hmm.
This right here, people. Modeling visionary. He died at 70 years old, but just so you guys know, legitly. And you see how he keeps the models around him? You see how he keeps women around him?
Yamaya's Gift is a brand that specializes in medicinal herbs and all natural supplements to help alleviate a lot of conditions that Americans suffer from, okay? Now, Yamaya's Gift got products to help you with that hypertension, to help speed up that weight loss, get rid of them fibroids, as well as help alleviate the symptoms of that diabetes. Oh yeah, that sugar is real bad. So now with Yamaya's Gift, you get a lot of gifts, but the best gift that anyone could ever give you is the ability to heal thyself from the inside out with products like elderberry syrup to help keep that immunity in check, because we all fighting Miss Rona. We all trying to windmill her ass up out of our lives. But one of my personal favorites, as a matter of fact, two of my personal favorite products with Yamaya's Gift is the all natural honey and the tea that's for men. And the reason why I like those products is because if you are somebody with a low sex drive, if you need a boost in the bedroom, and if you are ready to get Brian Pumpered, Lexington Steeled all night long, then just put some of that in your man's cup and you will be on your way to a happier, healthy marriage, all right? Now, place your orders today, whether you need your immunity taken care of, you're trying to lose some weight, you're trying to get rid of that sugar, the diabetes, or you're just trying to bust a nut, okay? Order her shit at www.yamayasgift.com.
Oh, that's Iman back there.
Yep.
Okay. Now
she's beautiful, by the way. She's so beautiful, by the way.
So beautiful. I joke all the time. I'm like, I need to go over to where she's from and like bring one back. Like, gorgeous. But no, we now know in 2020 that the modeling industry is pretty much like the entry point for a lot of sex trafficking, and so your mother saved you from a lot.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. And then at that time, like I was very sheltered. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. Um, there was something that happened tragically in that town, and my mother packed up and we went to the East Coast. We went to New Jersey, and then once my mom was in Jersey, I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to New York, and I became a woman in New York, so that's why I claim New York.
Yeah, and people got to understand, you can be born in a place, but when you go through those formative years, it's like, no, you a New Yorker. What part of St. Louis? I'm curious. Or were you guys in?
Ferguson.
Okay, Ferguson, North County. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Yes, so I knew what was up with White Castle from there, but I will say this about the Lou. I do go back there. I still have family there. St. Louis, Missouri got the best Chinese food ever in the world.
Ever.
Okay, in the world.
Ever.
So if you don't know about that crab St. Paul sandwich, I don't know where you been, but St. Louis got the bomb ass Chinese food. Real talk.
I can taste it right now as you said. But
Me too, but I know how to make them. So from scratch. So I can, you come to Vegas, or I come to ATL. I'll go ahead and whip that up for you real quick. I know how to make them, so I had to learn how to make them. I can't get them here.
Do you know? Because I have family there too, but on the Illinois side, and literally, it was people that would drive into town in the St. Louis and get a bunch of Chinese food and freeze it to take it back.
Okay.
Like,
okay. And what about the Vest soda? Okay, you better get you a Vest.
A grape Vest. The strawberry.
Okay, fruit punch. Big up the Lou.
To the Lou. Oh, and the OV and the chips, like those Red Hot Riplets.
Yes. What up, Nelly? Okay, you need to talk to Will about me, Nelly. I had to drop that. I've been trying to do a track with him forever, but
Nelly,
but anyway.
Yeah, he should be pretty easy to not get in touch with, but he should be down to do, because let me not be messy. I'm not gonna be messy.
So, but just in this game, it's been a beautiful journey for me. But I do got, some stories and some drama. So moving forward from the modeling thing, I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to get a 9-to-5. And that's what I did, because I had, educated and working parents. You're not going to sit in the house at 17, 18 and not either be going to school or have a job. You're gonna be bringing some type of income somewhere, even if it's for yourself or you contribute on a light bill or whatever it is. You're gonna be bringing some type of money in this house. You're not gonna. My mom didn't play that. You're not gonna be sleeping at 10 o'clock all day. No, you can't sleep in no black woman's house past 7. Real talk. Even in my house, I'm waking everybody up. Look, I'm up, everybody getting up.
Yep.
I'm working, y'all getting up. Go do something.
Oh, and it never fails. So cut on that vacuum right in your room. Like, well, I guess I'm up now.
So my love for music came from my mom, and I'm just keep it 1,000. Since we're talking about domestic and being up and not sleeping late in a black household, because I know it wasn't allowed in my house. My mom is a huge Patti LaBelle fan, Gladys Knight, Nita Baker, Barbara Streisand.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up listening to this on my mom's side because my dad is on the other side where you're not supposed to listen to that type of music. So my parents separated. My mom held us down, me and my siblings. You know, my dad is doing his thing, still doing his thing in his 70s.
Okay.
I ain't mad at him. But you know, my mom was a single mother and raised daughters. My sister played basketball, and she was kind of like the sporty one. My sister danced on MTV. What was it, that MTV thing with Downtown Julie Brown? My sister was an MTV girl, and I just didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I just tried to figure it out. But everyone was telling me, as far as like the modeling, I went to Ford, I went to all of these agencies. Oh, you have a great book, but you have a great book, but you know, and theoretically, like, you know, my height, I'm 5'6". I'm not gonna front. I'm 5'6", but okay. I'm always in stilettos. I'm always in heels, so that makes me like 5'9".
Okay, so yeah, you definitely would have been like commercial. Mm-hmm. Although, how tall is Kate Moss? 5'8"?
She's 5. I think she's 5. I think she was 5'4" or 5'5". I'm not sure, but I know she was shorter than me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she's probably 5'5" then. So yeah, it's possible, but yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do. Just going into, I'm like, I have to do something. I just have a creative mind. I just, you know, when you have a creative mind, real talk, your mind doesn't sleep. I function on 4 hours of sleep a day.
Yeah.
If I get 8 hours, that's too much. I'm a zombie, like, oh God, I can't. So yeah. I have to always be doing something. My hands are always in so many pots. You know, trying to generate revenue. I'm very prideful. I'm a Leo. I'm very prideful. So I don't ask nobody for help. And I think that was kind of like my downfall going from, you know, modeling to music, because I didn't know anything about the music industry. I knew nothing, you know. And then, you know, when I started sharing my stories with my mom was like, oh yeah, I used to roll with the Motown crew back in the day. We used to play spades and, you know, with Marvin Gaye and the Supremes. And I'm just like, okay, so you know a little bit about it, but she didn't really like give me too much information. So as I'm growing,
you're going to be facing in the music industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she was, and you know, they say people are, and this is a thing too. I think a lot of people get it twisted, because I know this happened to me a lot. Mm-hmm. When you work in the music industry, when you work in the industry at any level, sometimes there's perks. You know, I worked at the studio. I could go to the Grammys. I could do all of that. The American Music Awards, the MTV Awards. I've done all of that.
Nice.
I've been on those red carpets. I've walked in there, but people are like, who is that? Or who is she?
Ladies, treat Gianni. All natural herbs for a fresher, tighter, cleaner, healthier Yanni. This is the Yanni bowl. Here are the herbs. These are natural herbs. You know, a little steamy down there, but you know, it's perks to it. Keep everything right and tight. I'm going to Yanni steam. If you haven't heard about it, definitely got to research it. It has wonderful, wonderful benefits. So ladies, try her out.
And a lot of times I'm backstage VIP at somebody's concert here in Vegas, in New York, wherever I'm traveling at the time. Well, not happening anymore right now, but people try to figure out, like, who is she? I'm an artist. I am not a groupie. And a lot of people be like, oh, you know, it's groupies backstage. No, I'm an artist. So when I watch another artist perform, I'm learning something. And I'm going to tell you something. I learned from the best to perform. I learned from Prince.
Tell us about your connection with Prince.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so real talk. Like I said, I had strict parents. I didn't have the birds and the bees conversation with my parents.
Okay.
Real talk. Never happened.
Ever?
Ever.
Oh.
Ever. So I became the exotic, the sexual, the sensual woman I am because I'm listening to Prince albums. Okay, I can tell you if Prince wrote a song just from hearing it. Okay, so that was age 15 and up. So I went back to the For You. I went back to the Dirty Mind. When I was in high school, I had the Controversy poster, because there was a poster that came in the Controversy album from Prince. And all of the Prince heads from back in the day will know exactly what I'm talking about. So Controversy back in the day, yes, that picture was in my locker. That picture was in my locker. Okay. Now, with Prince, I didn't have a social life. I didn't go out and play, you know, dodgeball and kickball, that type of stuff. You know, I did it every now and then, but like athletics really wasn't my thing. I wasn't the sporty type chick, you know, that was my sister.
Okay.
But I was just like the creative one, the fashion, into music. That was me. So me and my sister are totally the opposite. But the great part about the Prince story is I listened to all of his music, all of his albums. Okay. I have imports. My Prince library is thick. And I will fight anybody that talks negative about him in my presence.
What can you say bad about Prince? He's literally one of the greatest. Like, I mean,
let me just say this. When people say iconic and legendary, and I'm just playing, I'm a nonviolent person. I wouldn't fight anybody unless I really had to. But with him, he's just listen to his lyrics. You know, I as a woman, for real, like I didn't have that conversation with my parents. I learned about sexuality by listening to Prince. So,
wow.
If you go back and you listen to all of his stuff, and as you are becoming a woman and you're 17, 18, 19, you know, I'm like, this is precious, because that's how he represented it to me in all of his music. So that's the way I took it. I'm like, my box is precious. I can't just be giving it to that one and giving it to that one because this could happen. And listen to the Prince ballads. Some of you lose your mind if you get it.
Yeah. So I'm glad you took that away from it, because of course that's not my generation, but of course I've heard his music, and I'm just like, well, dang, if she learned about sexuality from Prince, I'm like, he gave her a whole full course meal. I'm like, was that like an introductory course first? Because he was out there. So.
Exactly. So you need to learn to love yourself.
Yes.
Because he was the first artist that I knew about that discussed that.
You're right.
So, you know, big up to him, man. So let's fast forward because I'll talk about Prince like for hours and hours. But anyway, I love him, and I just think a lot of people should really dig into, besides the Purple Rains and the Little Red Corvettes, go to the Crystal Balls, go to the Black Album. Emancipation is a beautiful piece of work. And
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Then we can move on from it. Since you are a Prince fanatic, there's like hundreds of hours of unreleased music that whoever was the head of his estate, they have it. I know a lot of it is just like him on a guitar and playing and experimenting. I know a lot of it is not actually like lyric. It doesn't have lyrics behind it. But how much would you pay to hear that footage? Like if it was condensed to albums, how much would you pay for that?
Well, for me, it's priceless. It's priceless. And a lot of people don't know that Prince used to open up his home to the MP. I was a member of the New Power Generation, which is what started. Prince is the one that started the streaming of music on the internet. So people need to, people need to, before the Napster had came out and all that stuff. And so Prince started it first because you could only get certain tracks if you were part of the New Power Generation. And there was a membership and you got certain things, and we got albums first. And if you went to one of his shows, like the album 3121, that show, if you were part of the New Power Generation, you got to sit at the sound check before the show. You got to stay in the same room with Prince, his vocalists, his band members, and watch the rehearsal before the show started.
You know what? That's really dope. That shows just how down to earth he really was. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. So, and that ticket was $312.01, 3121. So, but moving forward, my love for him is just, I could talk about him all day, but I was very blessed because I listened to Prince from the age of 13 until adulthood.
Okay.
And I was not, hanging out in the streets because my mom didn't play that. So I had to be home when the street lights came on. And I'm listening to Prince, doing my homework. I'm listening to Prince, sitting in the house. I'm listening to Prince, cleaning up the house. So that's how that passion started. And for me, what was very iconic was, and very legendary for me was, he played PNC Art Center in 1997. And I had an open mic the night before at this place called the Blue Angel and in New York City. And there were a couple of people that were at the show, and we're just walking around. PNC Art Center is in New Jersey, South Jersey. It's very, very huge. It's a huge venue. And what ended up happening for me that night, I'm just walking around and this guy's like, "Hey, didn't you do a show last night in New York?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You were there?" So I'm talking to him. And then the next thing happens. He's like, "Come sit with us." I'm like, "Okay." So this ticket, I paid $75 for a seat that I didn't even sit in. I ended up sitting with them, and they were in row 4. So me not paying attention, just sitting there waiting for the show to come on. Larry Graham, a wonderful, wonderful artist, someone that is a phenomenal player, was opening for Prince. And so everybody's just hanging out, waiting for him to finish his show. And then Prince comes in and the lights go off and everybody does their thing. Now, I'm very spiritually in tune, but sometimes, as a Leo, I could be feeling my own self. I have my self-motivation. So as the show's going, I don't even realize who's in front of me. But I'm looking at Prince. I'm in row 4.
Okay.
And I'm just like, who is he looking at? Because because it's like I'm thinking I'm having eye contact.
Yeah.
So, and once again, I've been listening to him since I was 13.
Bad bitch, are you a bad bitch? Are you a bad bitch? Is you a savage? Now, whether you are a bad bitch or whatever you want to refer to yourself as, I am here to talk to you today about a book called Bad Bitches and Power Pitches that is authored by Precious Williams. Now, one of the biggest differences in life between you and your competitors, I don't give a damn if you're going for a promotion, if you're trying to sell your business or anything, is the ability to effectively communicate. Precious Williams comes from St. Louis, Missouri, which is the home of it being hot in here, St. Paul sandwiches, vet sodas, and the best Chinese food on the damn planet. And she has went from the slums of St. Louis to being able to show you how to elevate your life simply by using the gift of gab. Now, Precious Williams' book has been featured on Forbes, CNN, Black Enterprise, and the Storm Monroe Show. And what I am telling you guys is that you need to hit that link in the description box so you can cop a copy of her book today.
I'm like, is he looking at me? Is he looking at somebody else? Like behind me? I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
So he invites everybody up on stage to dance, and nobody was dancing. He was like, hold up, band. He shut it down. He said, I need somebody up here that's going to jam. Guess what? And guess who he picked?
You?
Me.
Oh, wow.
He watched me the entire show.
Oh, wow.
Because I was dancing and singing for 2.5 hours straight. And most people that don't have, that artistry in them, you can't sing and dance for 2 hours, 2.5 hours without no break.
No.
I didn't have no break. I wasn't getting paid. I'm just doing me. I'm enjoying myself. Every song, he was watching me the entire time.
Because as an artist, like, as an artist, y'all know the difference between somebody that knows what they heard on the radio and the people that like know stuff on your album.
Yes.
Like, you know the difference.
Yes. And if anybody goes to a Prince show, as soon as you hear the first 3 keys, if you're a Prince fanatic, you know what he's playing. You already know what the song is.
Oh, wow.
So I was very, very fortunate to close that show with him on stage. He said, I need somebody up here to jam. His security, and he was like, you. So I had to go over 3 rows. In those 3 rows, I went over Chris Rock. I went over Lenny Kravitz. Went to the end of the stage. His security guard was a bald-headed guy. I think it was Brian. I'm not sure about his name. But he like bowed to me like, Queen. I'm like, let's go. Let's get it. and Prince said, you gonna jam? I was like, hell yeah. He was like, 1, 2, 3, bam. And it kicked in. And I looked up, and as an upcoming person that wants to be in this business and be in this industry, when I looked up and I saw people on the lawn that looked like ants, I said, this is what I want to do.
You knew at that moment. Right there.
And that night changed my life.
But that's a spiritual connection you had too. That was something. Yes.
And what artist can you say? Because a lot of people don't realize, like, how many times can an artist say that they got to perform? It's a few that got to perform with their icon.
Not many.
So that was the best night of my life. And then after that, his security guard took me off the stage and told me where the after party was. So I'm just trying to give you all the details because it was just such an awesome night. So I drive back to New York because I was in Jersey. I drove from South Jersey back to New York, took a shower, changed my clothes, called my manager, screaming in the phone, telling her I was on stage with Prince.
Okay.
And she's like, girl, you better go. I'm like, okay, I'm going. Helen Chavis was my manager at the time, and she used to work at EMI.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So get home, change clothes, get to New York. It was the after party was in New York. It was at Tramps. And went to Tramps. And when I parked my car, I had a very, very ironic thing as well. So and I'm walking down the street to go to Tramps. And this lady runs up to me and she says, come on, come on. I'm like, what? I'm looking at her like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you about to rob me? Like, what's going on? You know, she's like, no, come on, come on. The boss is waiting for you.
The boss?
And I said, the boss. That's what she said. The boss is waiting for you. I said, okay. She walks me right across the street. I see Madonna coming out. I see Shaka Khan coming out. I walk in there and she takes me. I see Brian McKnight. She takes me straight to the back and I'm chilling in Prince's party. I saw his wife, Maite, Lenny Kravitz, Maxwell, and I love me some Maxwell. And I tell him every time I love Maxwell. He knows I love him. And that night, it was the best night of my life. And I think Mariah Carey had a party that night, and they left Prince's party to go to Mariah's party that night.
That was literally a star-studded event.
Yes, it was great. It was great. It was wonderful. But there are some bad things about the industry too.
And that's what I wanted to get into, especially your connection with well, I guess we can start with what happened with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yes. Okay. So and this was around the same time. I'd say probably like 3 or 4 years after the Prince thing.
Okay, so this is what, 2000?
Yeah. Like 2000, 2001.
Okay.
Right before the World Trade, before that happened. So rest in peace to those. I have to acknowledge that. I was living in New York when that happened. Real quick. So with Harvey, my friend used to play at a club on 6th Avenue and Christopher Street in the Village. It used to be a corner pub, and he would play every Friday and Saturday. And during this time, you know, I would go and listen to him play, hang out a couple of times, but he introduced me to Harvey Weinstein. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together until his case came about. And, you know, I always see his name and I'm like, why does that name look so familiar? So long story short, my friend introduced me to him. He asked me, he said, well, what do you want to do? He just kept saying, oh my God, you are so pretty. You are so pretty. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I said, I want to be an artist. I sing, I write, I'm a triple threat.
Right.
This is what I want to do. And then Raj was like, yeah, she's cool people. She got it. She has talent. He co-signed it.
Okay.
And then they exchanged information. I never was given his information. He said, well, I'm going to speak to your friend. And he said, I'm just going to, you know, get in contact with you. He said, I will help you. So I'm like, okay. And then I was like, Harvey Weinstein. And I started seeing his name like on movies. And then I'm like, is this the same guy I met?
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I get a call from my friend and he's like, do you want to meet up with him? And he wants you to meet at the Empire Hotel. And that's right before you get to Columbus Circle. I'm like, and he left a message. I didn't answer the phone.
Okay.
And I never returned the phone call. So I never showed up. I was a no-show. And when the situation came about in 2016, I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I dodged a bullet.
Look, now I gotta ask. When you first met Harvey Weinstein, looking back now, did he give off any like did he give off predatory vibes?
No.
Did he say anything disrespectful or out of line?
No. Only thing that he kept saying, I mean, like he just said, you are so pretty. He was just staring at me. And I kept saying, thank you, because I am an exotic looking woman. And, I attract all types. I don't just attract, brothers, the white boys love me. The Italian boys love me, so it's fine. The Asian men love me. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. As long as you come with respect, we good. I don't care what color you are.
And I like that you said that too, because so many, I say it on my show. I don't care who get mad. I tell the black women that watch me, you might want to have you an open mind on who you date, because the brothers do.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I date the whole spectrum. I've had a Korean boyfriend. I've had an Italian husband. And, the situation I'm in now, which I've been in for the last 12 years.
Oh, wow.
He's Puerto Rican, Italian, and German.
Oh, hell, you done had the whole rainbow. I mean, I'm just going to call you UNICEF. It's like, oh, hell.
The person I'm talking about, he's in my video. That's my better half. That's in my video, Rude Boy. That's laying on the bed. Yes, I've been with him for 12 years.
Wow, but I see why the chemistry was there. It's real. Okay.
Yes, we can't front that. You can't front that.
You can't. And so looking back now, for Harvey Weinstein to say, have her meet me here at this hotel, we already know what he was going to try to pull on you.
Exactly.
Lock the door. Maybe have somebody else in there to hold you down, get you high, tell you, look, I can make a phone call right now. I can have you here. I can have you here, there. I can have this person listen to your stuff. But meet me in the shower. Give me a massage.
I dodged a bullet. Let me tell you, I dodged a bullet. And being so naive without having any type of direction in this music industry, I just felt like, hey, I can write, I can sing, I'm somewhat cute, I'm not conceited, but it's like I'm marketable. So why not?
Why not?
And it works, but if you really don't understand the business side of things, you can get lost, caught up, pimped out, hold out, all of that. Because
and keep talking. I'm looking for your picture so they can see how you looked.
Oh, okay. So what I educated myself on in the game, because I messed up. Like I said, I didn't have anybody to say, no, Azaleh, you got to do it this way. Or no, you have to get a team of people first, or you have to market yourself first, or you have to get a team of people to help you. I never was told that. So I had to learn by making mistakes.
And you really just went at it on your own then, since you weren't given good advice.
Exactly. And so what educated me was a book called Everything You Want to Know About the Music Industry by Donald Passman.
Okay.
I live by that book to this day. And anybody that wants to know about the music industry, business aspects, they need to read that book. Because it's real.
That should be given to everyone who said, as soon as you say, I want to be a singer, I want to be a rapper. Read it.
There you go. Donald Passman. Everything You Want to Know About the Music Industry. Like I said, I don't write music. I don't play an instrument. My instrument's my pen. I want my publishing.
Thank you.
You know, I want to write for other people.
Tell them how every time your song gets played, you're supposed to get paid. Tell them the fact that even in the song, there's like intellectual property. Then it's like it's different types of ownership of the song because you got like the composition of the record.
Composition is it's composition, which is your composer, which is your producer, or whoever created the music, notes, whoever put the production together is your composer. I'm the writer because I wrote everything. I write everything. And this is another problem when it came to like samples and stuff, because people don't understand. You can't just take a couple of samples from an album that's already been out and put it in your music and then you stream it on the platform because you're going to get sued. Yep. You have to get the rights from that artist and that label to sample that music. That's why when people talk about Puffy and like how Puffy was like with Bad Boy and how he sampled a lot of stuff, if you think about it, any samples that you do, you have to pay for and you have to get that clearance.
Yes, you do. You do.
That's not free. That's not free.
They will come back and like even I'm so glad you said that too, because even like when it comes to me and like working with sponsors and stuff, they'll send me a video of their commercial. I'm like, I can't play these people music. Like I can't.
Right.
Do that. Right. Oh no, it's fine. I know such and such. I don't care who you know.
Where the paperwork? Where the paperwork?
I don't know what sample that came from. And in 2020, they have machines that catch it as soon as you upload it. Yeah, it gets rejected, and then it tells you like the originator of it.
Yeah, like, that's the same thing when you're in college. When you're in college and you're writing a paper, you have to write in APA format. And basically what happens when you're submitting like your papers, that's what stops plagiarism. So when you're in college and you're writing papers, or even in high school or what have you, but college is the ADA format, you write those papers. When you send that paper in, it's already going through that background to see if you've copied it from somebody else. It's the same thing with music.
And people need to definitely keep that in mind. And so speaking of music, at one point, were you ever signed to Atlantic Records?
No, I was never signed.
Okay, you was never
I was
signed.
Working to be signed, but it never happened.
Tell us about the incident with the A&R person.
Okay, so I can't say his name, but I was working because, once again, my manager, she worked for EMI. And I was out networking. Every time I was networking, I would get business cards. I would go to different functions. I would give all that information to my manager. And then, unfortunately, we parted ways. And so when we parted ways, I was left out there on my own to figure it out.
Okay.
And I was still networking. And so I met this gentleman at an industry function.
Are you ready to up your financial game? Are you sick of being broke and want to learn money-making skills that can actually help you to survive any recession or dip in the economy?
Copy, paste, get paid. I am already at $7,800 in just 2 weeks.
And Tradera is here for you. Now with Tradera Financial Education Services, you are going to learn how to trade Forex.
Our basic focus is to teach you when to buy in the market, when to sell in the market, and when to do nothing.
Now, even though here at the Swim Monroe Show, I cannot make any promises on what you can make, but I do want to let you guys know that in some instances, people are making $25,000, $5,000, even $10,000 in a week alone. So this is a company that's definitely worth checking out.
We help people that never traded actually start seeing success. Our success rate is crazy.
So why go give a university tens of thousands where you can invest just a little bit with them and be well on your way to financial freedom and success? Check out www.tradera.today and you can be on your way to financial freedom.
And I told him what I was doing. I told him I have a couple of songs done. This is what I'm working on. So my first song was called Creepin'.
Ooh.
And keep in mind, I had no guidance. So I submitted this song to an A&R, and he was like, okay, it's nice, but you got to tweak this and you got to tweak that. He said, can you come back and give me something a little different? So the first time, it was when I went to the office, it was conversation. The second time that I went and presented a different situation, he became very kind of touchy-feely.
Okay. And now when you say touchy-feely, was it like with your hands, or was it actually like on inappropriate places on your body? Like, how touchy-feely was it?
Well, first, I'm a very petite woman. I'm like I said, I'm 5'6", but I weigh 145 pounds. So I'm not just like skin and bones. I got a little shape. So, and I think like my natural butt was like my best asset. So
Okay.
that's what he was grabbing. And I was just like, whoa, like, I was like, what's up with that? And he was just like, I'm just, it's all good. I love you, girl. I'm trying to get your music done. And it was like finessing me, and then I let it go down. And then I was just like, okay, I was like, so what do I have to do next? Like what else do I need to do? I've submitted 2 songs to you. What else do I need to do? So he said, okay, I'll take this. And then he said, but always continue to keep making more music. He didn't say like, okay, I'm going to have a meeting about it, or I'll get back to you, or whatever. So the third time that I went, it was actually a sexual act in his office. And it wasn't me performing the sexual act. It was him.
Wow.
And
you walked in on him doing this?
No, this is what he was doing to me.
Doing to you. Okay, I just want to make sure I cleared it up. Okay.
And I left. I cried. I had to get myself together before I went into my house. And I never went back. Never went back.
And honestly,
and I've never told anybody. I've never told anybody that. I've never spoken upon it because I was always represented myself as a woman, as a queen, not thoughty, not thirsty. I've never represented myself that way. I was trying to understand what I did to make the situation happen. Like why didn't I control it?
That wasn't your fault. That was him being predatory and forceful. It nobody has a right to your body unless you give them access to it.
Exactly.
It's just I know you understand that now, but people that are going through that right now as we speak of it need to know that it's not your fault.
Well, most definitely. And I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of that. And it didn't have anything to do with the music industry. It happened when I was in high school. So from that tragedy to going into this industry, and then it happened again, I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. You got to move differently. So when I go into, I'm just being very forthcoming with everybody. As a woman when you walk into a recording studio and you are there to sing, you need to control that studio environment.
Okay.
Because with me, when I go in the studio, I'm there to lay it down and leave. I'm not there to sit and smoke weed, hang out, smoke blunts. I don't want 5 and 6 dudes in my session. It's not a hangout. This is work. This is not hanging out. And if you are not behind the board, engineering, I don't need you here.
You need to get out, because what are you there for?
Right. So and moving forward after this thing that would occur in that Atlantic office, I started moving differently because I had to, because I'm like, who is he going to talk to? Who is he going to say he did, because you have to understand, I had no guidance. I'm thinking, okay, so now I did that. Now I'm really going to get on. No.
Right.
Doesn't work that way. And I'm a prime example of that. I have talent. I have product. I have a whole body of work. I have videos. And all of this stuff I did on my own, independently. I didn't have a label behind me. And I still don't have a label behind me.
But
and you know why?
But you're better off.
Oh, most definitely. But it's numbers. It's numbers. I don't think anyone is, because my views are very low. Very low. And that's fine, because I'm being myself. This is me. I'm an artist at the end of the day. I create movies. I have 3 films right now that I want to put out.
Yeah. You got them already done in package or film rather?
Well, no, they're not done in package. So basically what it is that the movies are in script form.
Well, that's
they're done. One I want to do as a series on Stars, because I love Stars, because I do watch Power 50. And I play around with, and I say 50 all the time, because let me just say this. In Vegas, I worked for the distributor that was distributing vitamin water.
Okay.
So I get a kick out of it when 50 is on everybody like, I need my money. I need my money by Monday. I'm like, 50, I helped you get that $3 million on that great vitamin water.
Oh, man.
Because I put it in every casino in Las Vegas. So I need my money by Monday, 50.
You like, I need my cut. So let's acknowledge this though. After going through what you went through as a teenager, then that incident at Atlantic Records, that's honestly enough for someone to give up on their dreams, for someone to lose their minds, or it's enough to actually turn you. The industry calls it a bad girl, but basically a prostitute, a sex kid. It can flip some in your head where you're like, well, you know what? Since y'all gonna take it anyway, I'm just gonna use it to get what I want.
Exactly. But I was told something from a young lady, and she's a queen. Her name is Erica Newell. She sings for Stephen Marley.
Okay.
And she's very inspirational to me. She supports my music. I'm like, hey, Erica, check this out. And she'll give me her feedback. So I respect her to the utmost. She said to me one time, in this industry, if you lay on your back, you're going to stay on your back. And I've taken that with me everywhere I go, because after that incident, I had to move differently.
Yeah.
I'm not going to a studio where there's 8 guys and I'm the only female.
Yep. Nope. Rebooking it. Not do it. Or get out.
Right. Right.
Do that. Yep.
Or why are you in my session?
I pay for the time. You need to roll. Yeah, you have to. And you know what? Let's say this, and we're gonna leave that at that. The world can call you a bitch for moving that way. Nicki moves that way. Nicki Minaj moves that exact way, and people can call her a bitch, this and that.
I love Nicki. Big up.
But I do too. But it's professional.
Are you living a hectic and stressful life? Between the news and racial stress and trauma, do you find yourself feeling alone and anxious? If so, join our community, Mind, Body, Faith, and learn how to establish daily practices that aid in healing the mind, body, and spirit, like meditation, yoga, prayer, breath work, and journaling. Pause and let your spirit breathe by using our meditation prayer cards and meditation candles when you need to reconnect with God. Start on your new path by taking our meditation quiz, because it's always a good time to meditate with God.
And it has to stay that way, because as a woman, you can't give them no kind of inkling, like,
no,
you halfway can't even smile at them.
No.
And they think,
you can't.
Oh, she want me. She want, like, nah, nigga, I was just saying good morning. Like stop it. Every woman that say good morning or smile or even give you a hug ain't trying to sleep with you. So if you can control that room and if you can keep alcohol and drugs out of the mix, you ahead of the game right there. Because they get people with that. Because once you're intoxicated, your guards are down.
And that's one thing about me that a lot of people, will tell you that, like, I'm not a drinker. I'll have like a glass of wine or what have you, like with my dinner or something like that. But I don't. And this is how they get people, and they get girls out here in Vegas the same way. Is basically you leave a bar. First of all, didn't anybody, you guys tell anybody when you turn 21 and you start drinking? You never leave your drink and go back to it. You don't let nobody pour your drink. If you're not there watching them, you don't let nobody pour your stuff. You get it yourself.
Yes.
So that's it's called the what is it? The Mickeys. They used to slip Mickeys. That's what they used to call them. And your drink, and you lose all functionality of your body. You're like dead. Except your heart is still beating and they're doing whatever they want to you.
They sure will. Hugh Hefner used to call Quaaludes leg openers.
See, that's and once again, as women, we have to honor ourselves. And we have to honor that exchange of energy when you have sex with somebody. You can't just, and like I said, to each his own, but there's an energy and there's a spirituality that everybody got to get in contact with. Everybody doesn't deserve that energy. Everybody doesn't deserve to be in between your legs. And some of the people that's in between your legs that shouldn't be in between your legs, when you make them bust off, they put in their DNA in your body, which is toxin to some people.
Yes.
If you're not connected, it's not work. That's why I don't understand, and I'm not trying to go in on anybody, but Lori Harvey, I feel sorry for her because she don't know her self-worth.
I didn't get it. Let me say this. When Tasha said that, when Tasha was like, that girl's depressed, when I tell you it went over my head, I'm not a woman. I've never been a young lady, so I didn't get it. But when I sat back and thought about it and listened to what you just said, yeah, that girl don't know herself at all. She's a pretty face.
Beautiful. She's beautiful.
Beautiful.
She's beautiful. But the thing is,
what else is there?
That's the thing. And that's another thing that I want to empower other artists and other young ladies that's trying to get in this game. You got to have something to fall back on. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do music and not complete your education, because education is key. You got to educate yourself in this game and how it's played, because like Nipsey says, is rules to this shit.
Yes.
And if you're not going to be compliant when you sign on a dotted line and they give you your advancements, they could shut all of that down instantaneously. And it doesn't matter how many people you sleep with. It's done.
Done, Aubrey O'Day. It's done.
Done. They're going to shelf you. You're going to be in the red. You're going to owe. And ain't nobody going to touch you until you get out of that situation with them. And that's going to cost somebody else money.
Yep. And now
your career.
Yeah. I want to touch on something real quick. Speaking of like studio and controlling your studio, do you remember this viral video of Jocelyn Hernandez when she was in the studio, like high out of her mind and tripping?
Yes, I remember that.
With all the dudes?
Yes.
You know what's sad? Most of us laughed at that when they leaked that video of her.
I definitely didn't laugh.
But most people did. And even me being immature, I was, 17, 16, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just was looking at she tripping, sweat. That woman probably got game break.
Something happened.
It's
Something
like
happened.
Eight dudes in the room. She high out of her mind. Ain't no way she remember what happened that night. It ain't no way.
But at the same time, you got to go back to how she came on the scene and how she represented herself.
Yeah.
You're sitting here telling us about Stevie's beefcake. You're letting everybody know that you taking that anaconda. Think about it. You letting everybody know that you taking it. So when you put yourself out there like that, that's what everybody's going to expect when they see you. You're not giving us no ass today. You're not going to shake your ass in front of me. You're not going to twerk for me today. When you start that pattern, that's the pattern that you're going to have to rock with until you're done. And that's what it is.
Because with her, she talked about how, she got assaulted at a young age and it flipped a switch within her. Then her mom kicked her out the house early at like 14. So the only kind of work she could do was prostitute herself.
Was that?
And I don't know why when people looked at Love and Hip Hop, they didn't put two and two together and realize Stevie J was her pimp.
Now let me say something about that situation, which is very sad, because she's a beautiful woman.
Yes.
And I think if Jocelyn would have had just a little bit more guidance, because first of all, she came on the scene. We knew she was a stripper. She has a beautiful body. She has a beautiful face, but she came in as a stripper. So at the end of the day, strippers are humans too.
Yes.
They have, bills they have to pay, but there's a line as a stripper that you make a determination if you're going to cross it or not. And that's that extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
I was a stripper.
Oh.
I was a stripper in New Jersey at the Dollhouse. Okay. I made $1,500 a night and I ain't sell my box.
But you know
not
what?
One time.
But as I gotta say, women, or not just women, but people will hear that and say $1,500 a night. Well, if you gave us some ass, it could have been $5,000 a night. Exactly.
But here's the thing. I'm a stripper. I'm there paid to dance and to swing around a pole. I'm not paid to swing on your pole.
Yeah.
And my box, you can't pay for. And that's the thing. And it goes back once again to self-worth. Because you can't, you know, if you're like, okay, well, I'll sleep with you and you pay me $5,000. Okay, but you done took that energy for $5,000. You can't wash that off on your insides.
Nope.
You can wash it off your skin, but you can't wash it off your insides. A higher being knows what you just did for $5,000. So it's selling your soul.
Yes. And now you're spiritually married to that person.
Oh yeah. For that $5,000. For that $5,000. And to be honest with you, it's females getting more paper than that. But here's the thing. When you meet the person that you're supposed to be with, your life partner, your husband, your wife, your spouse, how you gonna satisfy them? Your shit all beat up. You ain't got no walls. And that's the thing. People talk about WAP, wet ass pussy. Okay, your pussy can be wet all day. But if you ain't got no walls, that man's smashing into nothing. He's feeling nothing.
Well, that song was promoting prostitution too, but you know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer all the time. But it's just like,
oh no,
it's just like, okay, you gotta adult. I'm not mad at explicit things; it's a part of life. But you got explicit content and kitty imagery. You put two and two together.
Yeah, and I would never want to explain to my niece. My niece is 15. I have a niece that's 5. I don't want to explain to them what WAP is. Because they gonna come to me first.
Yeah.
Because I do the music.
And you auntie.
Yeah. They gonna say, TT, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And I can't have that conversation. Because I know my sister ain't having it. I can't have that conversation. But they gonna come to me first.
Yeah.
It's not the image that women we need to portray. A lot of times, less is more.
Yes.
Because I'm sure if I open a Only's page and started showing my private parts and my breasts and my ass and my box, I'm probably sure I'll hit numbers.
But what else?
I've never done that, and I'm not going to start doing it now.
I'll tell you this. I wanted to show you this too. I love this conversation, by the way. I miss.
Oh, hey Marie, my boy's in her video. So that video that you have right there. Remember, I said I dated an Asian guy, Korean guy.
Yes.
He's the guy on the bike with the dreadlocks in her video.
Well, that's dope. Well, I brought her up not only because I think she's really pretty.
I love her.
I miss when our artists look like that. Look, she ain't got breast implants. She don't have a fake butt. And she was still considered pretty.
And I love that song because I sing that song all the time. The one, not this one, the other one. One Thing. I sing that all the time.
Versus today, this is what we got.
And to be honest with you, let me just say something. As a woman with these nails, let's talk about these nails real quick.
Oh, not the nails.
Okay. I used to wear them long nails that everybody's rocking now. I used to wear those nails. These are my nails now. They're just average. You cannot wipe your ass correctly when you got them long ass nails. Let's keep it 100.
I want to say they drag me every time
you can wrap as much toilet paper, many wipes. You cannot get in the crack of your ass with them nails. You doing it with your knuckle, which is disgusting.
Now, I heard a girl say she take the tissue. I work with a girl and I asked, I said, how you clean yourself with the nails? I don't know how I get away asking people the questions that I do. Maybe I'm doing this. Okay. But she said she take it and she hold it like, and I'm like, I just wasn't.
I listen. I used to have them long ass nails, and I used to like this is. I'm like, damn. You got to bend over a certain way. You know, it's too much work to wipe your ass. Let's keep it real. That you got to do every day. So, I mean, it's cute if you got an outfit, fashion, you taking pictures, whatever, but not every day. You can't fuck with that shit every day.
And then even the women like with newborns, let's just say Khloe Kardashian. I was trying to fit in Kylie Jenner. I was trying to figure out your nail is this long. Ain't no way you changing your baby with the nails.
Oh no, they not changed. No, because you gonna scratch the baby with those nails. You can't do that.
I'm like, ain't no way.
And that's and I appreciate you saying the Kardashians. I think they mom. I don't want to say she's brilliant because I'm not going to say that. I think she did what she had to do. But at the same time, as a woman and how long they've been established, making money, having Black babies, these women should not be idolized.
At all.
Period.
At all.
Because they're sending the wrong message to young ladies. What's the message now? I'll get an NBA player. I'll get a rapper. I'll get pregnant and get a check.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it actually is not what it is. Because half the time you're going to be tied up in court back and forth, because you thinking you getting a bag and you ain't getting a bag. Having a baby is not about getting a bag.
Right. But if he don't pay somebody to have somebody hurt you because he's married or he don't want to pay you $20,000 a month and he got the money to actually make you disappear.
And see, this is once again where it goes to the exchange of energy. You're letting somebody get on top of you and create life in your body that you get to bake in your body for 9 months. And you already knew what your intention was.
Yeah.
That goes to your child.
Yeah.
And this is why I say, you know, as far as who they are and making money and, you know, their entrepreneurship, I'll give those girls that. They're doing that. But the entire message that they have put out is, I'm going to have Black babies. I'm going to get an NBA player. I'm going to get a basketball player. And guess what? I'm going to have all these babies and I'm going to be financially secure. And that's the image that they've given to women, because let me tell you something. It used to be a bad thing. I'm not going to say a bad thing, but it used to be kind of like a disgrace. I grew up in the era with my parents and how strict they were. It was a disgrace to come home at under the age of 18 and pregnant. That did not used to be the shit to do.
Yeah.
And it's and I just want to make sure that these young women and these young ladies know having a baby is not easy. You have to be home 24/7. You don't have a nanny. You don't have this type of money that these celebrities have. And even the money that they have is still not enough.
Nope.
Because they live a certain lifestyle.
Which is why they're working as much as they are.
Right. That half of us couldn't even do a third.
Yeah.
You know, to me with nannies, it's like you have a nanny. Okay, that's fine. That's great. But right now, we in spiritual warfare with trusting people.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't leave my kid with nobody.
Me either. Me either. Nobody. And all that stuff about family, a lot of things that happen to kids where
exactly. And I have to respect my mother, because when my mother and my father was done, my mother never brought a man in the house over me and my sister.
Big ups.
Never.
Yeah.
So if she was out on a date or if she had boyfriends, we didn't see that.
Because it was about protecting y'all. And I got a theory too. I'm like, I think that unfortunately, let's say you in a marriage, you together, whatever, y'all break up. Let's say y'all kids are like 13 and 10. Mm-hmm. Low key, I think you just need to worry about getting married after they grown.
Most definitely, when they're out your house.
Like, for you to bring in a step parent at that point, you're gonna have so many. Let's just say the dude is cool. Let's just say he ain't an abuser, and a lot of them are predatory. But let's just say he ain't. Just the mix of having the step parent and now you got kids, it's like, that ain't my daddy. He ain't telling me what to do. Then the man gonna take over your house. Then he start talking to you like you want to. Like, it's a lot.
And unfortunately, in some situations, it goes back to the respect for your parent. Okay, because you have to think about it. Sometimes our parents make choices that we don't have nothing to do with, and we become part of the answer to their decision. But at the same time, sometimes we become victims because of their decisions as well. So you got to take the power of your parent. And let me just say this, everybody doesn't have great parents. You know, everybody has some sort of dysfunction in their life, some sort of way. We don't all have great parents. We don't all have both of our parents. Some of us don't have any parents. Some of us grew up in foster system. You know, so it's a large line of I want to call it, say, generational situations.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't have any males in your family, because my family's all strong women. We have men in our family, but it's very few. On my mom's side. On my dad's side, it's plenty of men.
Okay.
And very submissive women.
I'm trying to think in my head with mine, like, there is some to that, because you will see a bunch of women around and you be like, okay, somebody made these kids.
Right. And it's generational sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, my grandparents both are gone, and I love my grandmother to death, but my grandmother was married to my mom's father, and he passed, and then she remarried, and she was married for 60 years. She was married to my grandfather until they both shut their eyes. And that is what I aspire to be. That's what I want in my life. You know, and you got to change it, because if there's, you know, divorce, you know, children out of wedlock, you know, your children can repeat your cycle.
They will. One of the major keys in rebuilding Black people in America and their strength is marriage. You cannot get around that. It's just keeping it real. You can't. We need that commitment again. We need those stable environments, because
we need love.
We need love.
We need love, and we don't have love right now.
Consistency, not all
of
that.
Love.
Sometimes showing up for you, sometimes not. No, consistent, functional, healthy love. And
you have to be loved in every aspect of a relationship, because everybody has their own love language. That's what I call it. You have your own love language, because let me tell you something. When people listen to me and my other half, like have a disagreement, it's funny to them. They be laughing.
Really?
Because we be going in on each other. But that's the way we communicate.
Y'all be dragging each other?
Sometimes. Like, you know, I'm a Leo. You catch me on the wrong day, or it's time to eat and I'm possessed and I haven't had no food, I'm very short with you. Very, very short. I'm ready to eat.
You need a Snicker?
Listen, I'm beyond Snicker. I'll be ready to like tear your head off. If I have to eat, I will tear your head off.
Wow.
Like I call it possessed. That's when I'm possessed. But yeah, we go in on each other. It's funny. Like I ran into my neighbor the other day and I was just like, oh my God. I said, I'm so sorry. I was like, did you hear me the other day? And he was like, y'all funny as hell. My neighbor.
But you know, y'all mess around to be together forever, because couples that do be doing that, you be like 30 years later and y'all still arguing. Okay, whatever, it works.
and I mean, sometimes it is what it is, but you know, everybody has their own love language, but you have to be nourished emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. All that love has to be in all of those areas. And if it's not there and you lacking in one, it's not going to work. It's a full circle.
Yeah.
You have to be stimulated in all those areas.
You do. I'm gonna ask you one more thing before I ask you about Chico Debarge. In your relationship, how do you? I know you have to forgive and forgive often. How do you let things go truly? How have you figured out how to do that?
I journal.
Okay.
Journaling to me is the one of the most healthiest outlets that anybody can have. Because the thing is that you might not be physically speaking it, but you're writing it down. And what I like to do is I like to go back to my journals and reflect my growth and my progression from where I was when I wrote that statement. So if you journal every day, you will watch your progression. You will watch how your mindset starts changing because you're releasing whatever is bothering you on paper. And then you can go back and say, oh, I remember when I felt that way. And that's what I try to incorporate in my music, because I want someone to listen to my music and say, oh, I remember when I went through that. So maybe if I look at it from that perspective, I'll have a better understanding.
Okay. I like
so
that.
There's messages in my music. It's not just, I want you to get the message. I want you to understand. So like from my song, Where You Going? I'm asking you, where are you going mentally? Where are you going musically? Where are you going spiritually? That's what I'm asking in that song.
Where you going? Okay.
Where you going?
I read what you sent me about Chico Debarge. And
Mr. Debarge, wow, I haven't talked about that in a long time.
I'm gonna let you just tell the story, because I was like, oh, okay, all right. He was really okay.
So, as my journey through the industry, I had a great friend that used to work at Universal. And of course, Chico Debarge was recently released from incarceration, and he did an album called Long Time No See, which is fire, by the way.
Nice.
I respect him to the utmost. So, beautiful personality, beautiful soul. Nice gentleman. So anyway, as I'm, hanging out with my friend Will, I go get merch from the storage area at Universal. So I never paid for any CDs from Universal, any merch from my office at SIR, because I would get it from my friend that worked there at Universal. So he would play around, because he knew I loved Long Time No See, which was Chico's album, because every time he got in my car, it was playing. And he's like, you don't have no other music? I'm like, no, I'm listening to Long Time No See.
Right.
Now, on this album, Chico was kind of buff. He had nice chest and abs on the cover of the album. So moving forward, I'm just hanging out, listening. Then I get invited to Chelsea Piers on New Year's Eve, me and my girlfriend, Sherry,
Okay.
that also worked at SIR Studios. So we go to Chelsea Piers for the New Year's celebration at the basketball pier with basketball where they had it. The basketball pier is where they had the basketball dome, I guess, is where they had it.
And that's the album you are referring to, just so people
yes.
can see visual.
So at the beginning of his album, he's being released, the intro to the album, he's being released from jail. And most people that know when you're released, they be like, yeah, you're going to be right back. You know, and he's like, nah, you ain't gonna see me no more. And he laughs when he meets up with his boys in the intro for picking him up. And he kind of has like a, I don't want to say Elmer Fudd, because that's not, but it sounds like it a little bit. Okay. His laugh is like, that you'll hear it if you want to do your research and listen to it. So we go to the event for New Year's Eve, and I meet him. And I remembered something from many years ago.
Okay.
When I was competing with my modeling thing, I did a competition. I didn't win, but Chico actually was there in Missouri as the guest at that function, that modeling search that I did. So that was kind of ironic. And I was laughing about that because I was going through some of my old things, like your yearbooks and stuff. And I found the ticket stub. So that's why I'm mentioning that. I didn't even remember that during this time. So moving forward, I introduced him. I tell him my name's Azaleh. I'm a writer. I'm interested in writing for you on your next project. We took a picture. He took a picture with my friend Sherry. We left. So of course I called my best friend that worked at Universal and I'm like, hey, yeah, I finally met him. Ha ha. You know, and so he was laughing and he was just like, okay. So he played a game on me every day. He would call me and he would act like he was Will. What? I mean, Chico. My friend Will would act like he was Chico on the phone. He's like, yo, can I speak to Azaleh? This is Chico. I'm like, this ain't no damn Chico, bye. And then he'll call me back, ha ha, you know. And one time he caught me. He would do this every day since he knew that I exchanged information.
Right.
So my friend Will was like, okay, this is Chico. I'm like, this Will, stop playing. He's like, gotcha, you know. So he played on the phone for like at least 2 or 3 weeks. This was going on for at least 3 weeks. And finally, my phone really does ring. And it is him. He was like, hey, I don't want to mess up your name, but this Azaleh, this Chico. I said, yeah, right. I said, okay, Will. I hung up on him. He called me back. And the only reason that I knew it was him is because of the laugh, because he was laughing. He was like, damn, you hung up on me? The laugh. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. So we had a conversation. We linked up. We linked up on a dinner, and basically the dinner, he was trying to, I guess, I don't know if he was trying to get more airplay, but he had a meeting with a radio station for New York. And we went to Ashford and Simpson's restaurant that they owned. I didn't eat with him. I ate with his security guard in the VIP. Okay. He and Chico and his manager were eating with Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson. And whatever they were talking about, I didn't have any knowledge of that. So I don't know what the conversation was. And that was it. I ate with his security guard. When they were done, he walked me to the bar. Chico excused himself from the conversation. Like I said, he's a wonderful gentleman. He put my coat on for me. And he said, I'm sorry, you know, I'll make this up. I'll make this up. I was like, no, it's all good. Do your thing. You know, because most people don't realize that when you go out to dinner with a celebrity, a lot of times you're really not eating with them. You eating with their security guards while they're politicking or while they're networking, doing what they have to do.
Okay.
So he thought that, I guess he assumed that I was going to be upset because we didn't eat dinner. That wasn't the case. I was like, go ahead, do your thing. Because I'm working at the studio. I'm seeing artists every day. So I know this is part of what you have to do.
Right.
So I was not upset. I was not angry. I was not mad. We left the restaurant together. He took me back to the studio where I picked up my vehicle and I left. And he said, I'm going to make it up to you. I was like, okay. I said, we can go out to dinner or whatever next time. It's all good. And I got a second call a couple of weeks after that. He invited me over. I was out with my girlfriends in the city. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go to Jersey real quick. So where I went was in Teaneck, behind the Marriott, which I think was Kadar's house. Okay. I'm not 100% sure. But from what I understood, Kadar lived at that location. Kadar Massenberg, which is who he was signed to on Kadar Entertainment, which is who Erica was signed to. So I go there. It's late. It's like 12 something. He's like, bring an overnight bag. I'm like, for what? Nah, I'm not bringing an overnight bag.
Right.
I said, I'll come. I said, I got to go to church in the morning. Well, I told him, I'm not bringing an overnight bag. But I'll come check you before you leave. So once again, no guidance. You know, no guidance. And I go and I talk to him. I get there. I take my stiletto boots off. We talk about family. We talk about music, what his aspirations are, what I'm trying to do. And then out of curiosity, I'm like, are those abs real? He like, you want to see? I'm like, yeah, them abs real. And I pulled the covers back. Whole package was beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay.
There was the only sexual thing that happened was I kissed him. We kissed each other. It was nice. But then he said, he made a comment. And I wasn't giving it up. Nope.
Do you want to say what that comment was?
The next bitch I fuck, I'm gonna tear her pussy up. So I was not happy with that.
How long was the man locked up?
I don't even know.
For him to be acting like that, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. But once again, you have to understand, he's beautiful. This man is beautiful. From head to toe. Beautiful. But when you can have anybody you want in this game, and you got somebody that you don't really know, if you can't bag that one, it messes with your ego.
Okay.
It messes with your ego. And with him, like I said, he was a beautiful man, beautiful body, beautiful package all together. Talented as hell. Beautiful. I wanted to write. That's it.
You weren't there. I get that. Yeah, you like, yeah. But my thing,
I just wanted to write.
But even with that, it kind of makes you think too. I don't know if you know, but it makes you think too. I wonder, since you said aesthetically, you can't deny what he brings to the table. So I wonder if he had to deal with assault as well, just based on his looks, and we know what they do to a lot of the men in the industry too.
And I think, to be honest with you, I wouldn't I couldn't even picture that for him. Simply because when I was pushing to write, I did give him a song. He did run into my contact at Universal in the elevator. My contact at Universal was like, "Did you listen to her song?" He was like, "Yeah, it's nice." He said, "But it sounded like she needed a little tea." That was the feedback that I got. Okay. So as time continued, I had to find, because once again, I was no longer with my management. Out networking, dolo, by myself, no guidance. I started doing hostess gigs. So after I met Chico, I did Shaquille O'Neal's All-Star party that he had at the All-Star Cafe in New York. I was the hostess for his party. Foxy Brown was there. All of the basketball players were there. Michael Jordan, all the big, NBA. This is when it first started, the NBA All-Star Weekend. This was the first one.
Okay.
So he had some great talent acts, but I know Foxy Brown was definitely there. Shaquille O'Neal is funny as hell. This was before Shawnee, before the babies, before any of that. Yes. Oh. Yes. And I with Shaquille at his event, I was just there just to tell everybody where to go and what time the artist was supposed to be on there and everything. And Foxy Brown at the time, she was popping. But let me just say, as a woman, she needed to talk to Pangea Wash.
Oh.
Because
oh no.
When she performed, that whole stage stunk. And I'm just keeping it 100.
Wow. The whole stage though?
It smelled real bad. Like I said, she better get that Pangea Wash.
Now, if Foxy Brown see this and she cuss me out, Foxy, don't get mad at me.
I'm sorry, boo. It ain't nothing personal. It ain't nothing personal. But if I see any woman, I had to check a woman at the Hallmark store. Real talk. I went in there the other day to get a card, and it was just myself, her, and the cashier, and it smelled like nasty vajayjay. And I said, somebody in here stinking. Y'all need to handle that. Real talk. I
remember even having I had a couple female roommates at one point, but one of them, she was lesbian. Not that it matters, but I say that to give you an image. And I remember I used to tell my friend all the time, I'm like, she got the bathroom smelling like straight fish.
And that's because you got something going on that you ain't had addressed.
I'm like, and
it could be food, your diet, all of that stuff. Soap that you wash with, stuff that doesn't agree with you, that doesn't mix with your body chemistry, because you have your own scent as it is. Yeah. So sometimes when you mix things that don't go with your body chemistry, it makes you stink. So I don't know what it is or what it was, but it smelled like nasty box. That's what it smelled like. I'm not saying that that's where it came from, because she had dancers up there too, but that smell went away after she got off of the stage. Now, that evening with Shaquille is a toe man, a foot man. He like toes.
Oh, don't tell me
Busta Rhymes. No. Busta Rhymes likes toes too.
What? Oh.
Okay. Oh. Both of these men complimented my toes. Okay. So that night I was in stilettos and I took my stilettos off and I was walking around barefoot, and Shaquille was like, "You got some pretty ass toes." And He said that, but once again, I'm walking around because I'm working for him. You know what I mean? So at the end of the night, when it was time to get paid and he was getting ready to leave, it was so funny because he had on a big ass like mink, like fur coat, and he had the hat to match. And I'm gonna tell y'all, for real, he looked like a big ass rat, but it was funny. It was funny because he looked like a big ass rat with his fur on. But at the end of the night, he was like, well, you know, what you want to do? You know, what you want to do? And he pulled out a wad of money. And you know what I told him? I said, Shaquille, everybody's cookies ain't for sale. Wow. So that was that evening with the All-Star weekend. But I had a great time. And I only got paid $75 to host his events. $75. But I didn't care. You know, that was a networking opportunity. How many times are you going to be able to be in the room with Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, you know? So it was an opportunity. It wasn't a groupie opportunity. It was a working opportunity. And that evening, I saw Kadar Massenberg was there. So I had a whole conversation with Kadar sitting on the floor. I said, I said, you know what? I said, I just met your artist New Year's Eve. And he was like, who? I said, Chico. I said, I want to work for him. I want to write for him on his next project. How can I get that work? And you know what he did? He called Chico right there.
Wow.
And left a message. It said, I'm sitting with somebody that just met you on New Year's Eve. So personally, I didn't have any more interaction with Chico after I left that invite to the home that day. Didn't have any more interaction. Didn't talk to him anymore. None of that. And then I started hearing stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? You know, because once again, I had no guidance, but I didn't have a negative reputation.
Okay.
I didn't have like no drama like surrounding me. You know, I didn't have any of that I knew of.
Which is good.
Right. Which is a positive thing.
Yeah.
So what was very ironic is I'm trying to figure out, okay, so how do I get people to listen to my music? How do I get to write for other people? What do I have to do? And someone was like, Azaleh, you got to put your own shit out. You gotta put your own lyrics, your own tracks, and let other people hear it. Because I was like, I want Mary to do one of my songs. I want Jaguar Wright to do one of my songs. I love her. Vocals are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to do a vocal class with her for like a year. So she can vocally train me to figure out little pockets that I don't know about.
And she do it while smoking a cigarette. I'm like, I can't. I was like,
exactly. But hey, Whitney Houston smoked Newports. Whitney Houston smoked.
She did.
I think Shaka Khan smokes too.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, you know, that doesn't, it depends on how you take care of your instrument. So I never spoke to Chico again until I received a phone call. It had been maybe, I'd say probably a year after our last encounter. Mm-hmm. I get a phone call from a young lady that identified herself as his wife. I didn't know he's married. I didn't even ask. Be quite honest with you, because once again, it was about the music.
You weren't trying to sleep with him, yeah. So you wouldn't.
It was about the music,
right?
And he told me that, you know, he was working on a couple of projects and things like that. But when she called me, she found my information. And what my information was once again, I have friends all in the industry. One of my friends worked for Erica. One of my friends sang background for Erica.
Badu?
Yes. And my other girlfriend did D'Angelo's hair, used to braid his hair. So some people that worked in D'Angelo's camp were kind of recycled for Erica's camp too. But long story short, I get a phone call because I did a picture, and what the picture was me back in them stripping days. The picture of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a song with all of his songs from Long Time No See.
Okay.
And my information was on the back of that. So she found that information and she called me. And let me just tell you, I kept it 100 with her. I told her, I said, do you want me to tell you exactly what I said? Like verbatim? Because I don't know if you get monetized, but.
You kind of bleep out the cuss words.
Okay. I basically told her I had an opportunity to sleep with your husband, but I declined. And she did nothing but respect me for that.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not a groupie. I'm trying to write for him, collaborate on lyrics, on music. And her and I, when MySpace came out and all of that stuff, we were conversating through emails. But it was never like any disrespect, and it was never any disrespect towards her.
Okay.
Or him, because I wasn't trying to be like his partner or trying to be sexually active with him. I was just trying to write and collaborate with him because he's a great writer as well.
It was the music, and to keep it real, if she had complete trust in her husband, she'd have never had to make that phone call to you in the first place.
Exactly. So I wasn't the only one, because there's celebrities, and I'm not gonna say their names, but it was other females in the acting game and in the music game that was with him.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So let me ask you this. After going through all that, we're now in 2020. Tell me, what are your plans as far as your music career now?
Well, my music career, I'm still pushing.
Okay.
I'm still pushing. I'm very independent. I have Beautiful Dread Music, which is my label.
Okay.
I put out my own music. I'm in the lab right now, putting out some new stuff. I have a song called The Conversation, which is dedicated to Nipsey Hussle.
Nice.
That I'm about to release. As I mentioned to you, my hands are in a lot of pots.
Yes.
I have my marijuana strands. My babies are growing right now. They will be out in 2021.
Do you have well, you don't have to say the name, but I was going to say, do you got the name yet? But okay, cool.
I have 3 names, and all of them are associated with me.
Nice.
So anybody that tries to steal it, you can try, but it's not going to work. But it's Beautiful Dread, which is me.
Okay.
It's my company. It's my business. So Beautiful Dread is one strand. Those are moon rocks.
Ooh.
I also have Empress. And I also have Lioness. All 3 of those names describe me. I move like a queen. I represent myself as a queen. And I will continue to uplift the queens under me.
I love that. I love that. And in 2021, I would love, once it's ready, I would love to try it.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. January, they'll be ready to go. I have partnered with several dispensaries, actually one dispensary in LA, one dispensary in Oklahoma City. That's where they're growing. And now that they have legalized it back in my hometown, New York and New Jersey. So all my people that know me know how I get down. So I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of clientele on the East Coast too. So,
because I'm about to go get my cannabis license too. I'm finna figure something out because I'm like,
yes,
everywhere. So we will definitely keep in contact because I would love to even learn.
I got you.
How you, yeah.
I got you. And I was actually brought into this due to the pandemic because I'm sitting here saying, let's do the math. Okay, all of my pothead weed smokers, let's do the math. Here in Nevada, it's legal. You can go to a dispensary depending on the strand that you get. Depends on the THC and the percentage of the THC on the strength. And then the percentage of your CBD that's in the plant. So there's, the sativa and there's the indica.
Yes.
Okay, so when you have both of those, then you decide, like, I said to myself, wait a minute. I'm going to the dispensary. I'm getting 28 grams. That's lasting me 2.5 weeks. 28 grams. So depending on how avid you smoke and what you smoke, if you smoke joints, it's going to last longer. If you smoke those cones, if you smoke the Fanta leaf, if you smoke blunts, it's going to go a lot faster. So I'm saying to myself, well, I done invested at least $1,000 a month on marijuana. So why not create my own shit? I'm sorry, my own strand. And I was very blessed because I have a cultivator that was trained by the best in Humboldt County, California for 25 years.
Okay.
He's in charge of my plants. And they are absolutely beautiful. And I cannot wait for everybody to get a sample and a taste. And then everybody's going to know which dispensaries it's going to, because I have connections here in Nevada, certain dispensaries I'm placing it in, as well as the one in LA and Oklahoma City. And now that New York, I have to wait until it's legalized in New York, then I can start shipping to the East Coast once everything is cleared on that side. Nice. So yeah, I'm very excited. So this is what the pandemic has done for me. I'm thinking outside the box.
You have to. If this pandemic has taught me anything, is that you have to take control of your own life. Like, we can think we can be secure in this and secure in that. Ain't nothing guaranteed. You just got to get out here and make it happen. And that's right. The weed hearing you. That's what a lot of people, they can't stand it about you. But if they had a look at what you had, I'm just saying.
Right. It's the hustle.
You can't lay back and just let life happen. You got to take charge.
You got to get up there. You got to be in it. And yeah. I've never had any experience in the film industry or how it works or, how to get in, that type thing. I've never had any type of education on that. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to tell you, I wrote something in 2000 called Platinum. Now, Platinum is about the music industry. I wrote it in 2000, 20 years ago. And I'm ready to put it out. I'm ready to put it on Stars. I'm ready to bring other writers in so they can continue where I left off with their own stories that they can implement for those characters that are already established.
Okay.
So that, and there was something called Platinum that was out like on UPN like a while ago, and it was about, I think the guy from Onyx was in it. I forgot his name.
Oh, I
But
can't
it was like on UPN, and it bombed. It bombed. But what I'm talking about is like what Jaguar is talking about. Like stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't really know about.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking, oh, these entertainers, they got so much money. That's like rent a chain, rent a car, rent a house.
Rent everything.
I want to see the mortgage. I want to see your actual mortgage statement that shows me that that's your house. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people that do a lot of stuff on IG for clout. I don't want anybody to think I'm doing this for clout. What I'm doing this for is because it's my truth. I have been very, very fortunate and very blessed to get where I have gotten and to be touched by some of our legendary artists that are no longer here with us. I will always cherish those experiences, but I definitely want every young woman, I don't care what color they are, white, black, brown, green, Asian, I don't care. If you step inside this arena called music, entertainment, be prepared to educate yourself and don't sell yourself. Because selling yourself is not going to get you anything. But you sold repeatedly over and over and over again until you can't be sold no more, until you a has-been where don't nobody want to deal with you.
And then that's when you're angry. And that's
of
when
course.
the depression sets in. Because you look back and you say, what was all that for?
Exactly. And here's the thing. Most of the people that I have ever had any experience with in this game, Neo too.
Oh.
I know Neo's uncle. And Neo is from Vegas.
Yes, he is. He sure is.
And I ran into his uncle on some real estate shit. And then when he told me who he was, I was like, oh, I do music too. So his uncle is always cheerleading for Azaleh.
Okay.
His uncle knows that I'm a badass bitch. His uncle knows that. Okay? His uncle has always cheerleaded for me. Okay? I can call him right now. You understand what I'm saying? So he's always cheerleaded for me and always respected me as an artist. So I came to him on my artistry, and what it was he was just like, well, I don't know what genre to put you in. He was like, because you got R&B tracks, you got hip hop tracks, you got rap tracks, you got reggae tracks. I don't know where to put you. And this is the reason why I'm not signed to no major. Because they don't know where to put me.
Yeah.
I'm in a genre on my own. They don't know where to put me. And that's what he used to tell me.
It is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You can't be put in a box. That is okay.
No, and I'm never cutting my locks unless I decide to do so. Mm-hmm. I'm in total creative control of anything that I put out.
Oh, they don't like
that. I own all of my stuff going into the gate. I'm bringing you the music. You're not bringing it to me. I already got it.
Yeah.
I have over 350 songs, lyrics, copyrighted with the copyright office right now. Azaleh's compilations, volume 1 and 2. I write every day. So, with that being said, we go back again to everybody's like, well, why isn't she on? And why isn't she not being signed and stuff like that? The thing is too, I don't take no shit.
Yeah.
And you can't bullshit me.
Yeah.
Anymore.
It's just not if you are somebody that is in control of you, you're not gonna play the game, play the role, as they say. Then yeah, you're gonna be somebody that is independent because they're not gonna like you. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna thank you for coming on. This was a beautiful conversation.
Thank you.
And when I put this up, I'm going straight to the comments. I can't wait to see because your story is definitely really dope. Where can the people find you and look you up?
Well, I'm definitely on Instagram. I'm on IG, and I'm at Rasta1314 on IG. As far as Facebook, I'm Azaleh Artist on Facebook. I'm everywhere. So you just have to put Azaleh Reggae Artist, because I have some guy, let me just say this on this interview too. I have some guy that's using my name on YouTube, that's using it electronically. He does electronic music, but he spells his name the same way as I do. And I have reached out to him several times, and I was very, very nice about it. And I told him that I need to see the copyright for your name, for the music. Because when you copyright your name in the music industry, when you copyright your name, they give you 3 different ways to spell it. This person has been using my name since 2000 and I want to say 5 or 6.
Okay.
So I'll be working with YouTube to get that removed, because I have asked him several times, and I'm like, your name is copyrighted for music, right? And entertainment, right? And he has never responded. So mine is with the Library of Congress. That's my name registered to me for entertainment.
$10.77 or visit lindasalvin.com.
Would it need to be trademarked or copyrighted or both?
Both.
Both. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm so happy that I was able to do this with you. Thank you so much for providing me an additional platform so that people know that I'm still here. I'm still grinding. I'm still on my marathon. And I just appreciate the love. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you for being patient, because it's been a mess trying to get this schedule together. The last 2 weeks have been, but I can't complain. To be busy, it's like I can't complain. So thank you once again. When the video goes up, I'll let you know, and we will stay in touch, okay?
Yes, most definitely. And real quick, shout out to ATL, because you're there. Because I just want to say something about ATL. I used to live in ATL. I used to live in Buckhead. I used to work at Lenox Mall. And I met Babyface and L.A. Reid at Lenox Mall. I was a Calvin Klein girl. I was the Eternity girl, right by the escalators in Lenox Mall. And also, I want to big up, since you in ATL, I want to big up Ludacris, because I met Ludacris at Jack the Rapper a long, long time ago in 1991.
Okay.
And his manager, Shaka. Shaka went to school with my sister at Clark Atlanta University.
Okay.
So big up to Shaka. I've been trying to link with him, telling him I'm doing music. I've been trying to do that link. Also, I want to big up Kat that used to work with Usher. I don't know if he's still working with Usher or not, but he's someone else that I met that has respected me and has loved my journey. So I just want to give a shout to ATL's people. And Mona Scott should have had me on Love and Hip Hop a long, long time ago.
Look,
But I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah. But you know what though? I'll tell you this. I think your testimony is one that needs to be heard. And I'll say this: I wish you all of the luck, and you keep pushing. And just know, like, you already got it. It's in you. You just got to get your stuff in the right rooms. But you really you got the package. So
thank you so much. And thanks. So did you listen to Addiction?
I listened to, hold on, because I don't remember the names of the songs, but I listened to what you sent me, and I seen the video with you and your partner.
Rude Boy, yeah.
Yes, Rude Boy, and it's another one. What's the other one you sent me?
I sent you Where You Going?
Yes.
That was basically that video was just a performance video. That's the song that most everyone knows me for. That was kind of like my song straight out the gate. And big up to my people that were able to get that done for me.
Good.
Oops.
Good.
Did I click you out? Hold on 1 second. I think I clicked out.
No, it just, yeah, it froze there. But hey, I'm gonna go eat. Thank you for coming.
And I got you. When I come to ATL, you know a sister be cooking.
I appreciate it.
Because we talked about the mac and cheese. Remember? I told you I called in for you when you were talking about a topic and we put mac and cheese together. I got you, fam.
All right, man. Take care now, okay?
Bye. Thank you. Bless up.
Bless
Take care. Bye-bye.